Hello gamers of YouTube, it's the Universal Gamer and welcome to my MotorStorm Apocalypse, 15 minutes of game. Now MotorStorm is my second most favorite racing series of all time. My number one is Burnout. Now you may be asking yourself, well why isn't Need for Speed up there? Or Forza Motorsports? Or Gran Turismo? That's an easy question to answer. Because I like hardcore racing games. I like those off-road / on-road racing games to where it's real gritty and real grimy. You have dirt bikes, ATVs, monster trucks, mud plungers, buggies, and semi-trucks racing all at the same time. You have high-speed muscle cars, sports cars, racing at 150, 180 miles per hour, and you can just hit somebody, ram somebody into a light pole, or ram somebody into a car, or dodge buses and stuff as you go in 150 miles per hour, drifting around corners and all kind of stuff, and one split second can either make you or break you. That's the kind of racing games I love. Not saying that other racing games suck, because that's just trying to compare, that's like trying to compare Gears of War to Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. Even though Battlefield 4 may look better, you know, but Gears of War is that gritty, crazy shooter where you can saw people in half. You can execute people. You can snipe somebody's head completely off. You can down someone, pick them up, take them as hostage, shoot people with your pistol, and then snap his neck. You can take a double-barrel shotgun, come around the corner, and shoot two people at the same time and explode their body parts everywhere across the map. That's what separates Gears of War from any other shooter game I ever played in my whole entire history of my life. So Gears of War is pretty much my Burnout and MotorStorm. So that's my whole point. I love those hardcore racing games where there's debris flying everywhere. You're racing across rooftops, hopping from downtown building to downtown building, why other buildings are collapsing on top of that building, why debris is flying on your face, and other cars crashing and flipping past you. Split seconds can make you or break you inside these games. Burnout going at 100 and something miles per hour. There's cars, buses that you gotta dodge. Also watch out for your other components or opponents trying to ram you into obstacles on the racetrack. MotorStorm, to speak on MotorStorm indirectly, because that's the game I'm playing right now, the thing that drew me into MotorStorm 1 on the PS3 is that the diversity. If you love ATVs, you can drive an ATV. If you love dirt bike games, you can drive dirt bikes. If you love monster trucks, you can drive monster trucks, but not inside the first game. If you love semis, you can drive semis. If you love dirt buggies, you can drive dirt buggies. If you like those rally trucks, you can drive rally trucks. You know, it's all diverse. Even when it comes to the track, I never played a racing game in the history of my life that allows you to go 4 to 5 different places on the track, on one single track. What I mean by that is there's so many different paths you can go down. Let's say you got a dirt bike. There's little skinny paths and skinny jumps and skinny little hallways that you see. You can go through those. Maybe a buggy can't fit through that, but a dirt bike can. Maybe there's a mud surface, like a mud track, and it's real watery and muddy, and you have a mud plunger. Maybe other vehicles can't go through there, but you can because you have mud tires. You know? Maybe there's a lot of bricks and cars and rocks inside one location, and everybody else can't race through there that easily, but you got a monster truck, so you can. You know, there's a lot of different levels and a lot of different tracks that you can go through, a lot of different paths you can take on one track. It's not the same experience every single time. Literally, if there's 6 or 7 different vehicle types, that's 6 or 7 different experiences times the different places you can race at on one single track. So put one and one together, and then the AI is so cool when they're not being an asshole, you know, and teaming up on you. But other than that, the AI is just so fun to race with and stuff like that you don't even need multiplayer inside the MotorStorm games. So the tracks you see me racing on right now are actually the beginner ones. These are like the first 6 tracks that you race on when you first play MotorStorm Apocalypse. MotorStorm Apocalypse is a twist from the first 2 games. It takes place like in city areas. It still has some off-road elements to it, but it's mostly an urban area. And if you think these tracks look crazy and you think this is crazy where I'm racing through all kind of crazy debris stuff, crashing and stuff, well, by the time you're watching this video, I'm already racing on all kind of crazy stuff. After filming this video, I raced on this one track where you're racing on top of downtown buildings, and once you do like 1 or 2 laps, the buildings start collapsing and stuff like that. You're jumping across rooftop to rooftop. I know it's fake. I know it's unrealistic. I know other games like Forza Motorsport Sports and Gran Turismo and Dirt is more realistic. It's more simulator-like, and it has more realistic graphics, stuff like that, and physics. But that's what makes me like MotorStorm and Burnout. You know, it's tongue-in-cheek, you know. If the Joker was sitting here right now on the microphone, he'll say, "Why so serious?" You know, everything doesn't have to always be serious. You know, have fun. You know, when I feel like playing a serious game, I go ahead and play Gran Turismo, or I play a realistic racer game. But if I feel like just being tongue-in-cheek and crashing people off of downtown buildings and ramming people, getting on my ATV or on my dirt bike and slapping people off their motorcycles, that's fun. It reminds me of Road Rage, or Road Rash, should I say, for the Sega Genesis. You know, it's just little gameplay elements like that that's just so fun that you can't do inside any other game. And that's what separates this game from other racing games. So speaking of gameplay, let's talk about some of the gameplay. As far as graphics, the game looks good. You know, it's no Dirt, it's no Gran Turismo, of course. When it comes to other gameplay mechanics, like, you know, the 3D support that this game has is horrible. It's junk. It is completely utter mess. I have 2 settings for my 3D TV. I have the standard setting and I have the custom setting. The custom setting is used for games that kind of don't really do a good job at 3D that well, and there's some settings you got to tweak to make it look good. But even with my custom setting, the 3D is still horrible, extremely ghosting. Even when I turned the 3D all the way down and just turned it up 1 notch, it still was horrible. Too much ghosting. Like somebody put some smoke in front of my TV, and even not just the ghosting, it's just like it just messes your eyes up. Like my eyes start burning after 30 seconds. That's the worst 3D game I ever played in the history of 3D games, in my whole entire history of gaming on 3D in my life. MotorStorm Apocalypse is horrible in 3D. Do not even try it. Like, it probably will blind you. Same thing with Uncharted 3 and Resistance 3 in 3D. Those games ain't as bad as, you know, MotorStorm Apocalypse, but those games still had a little bit of ghosting issues. Even though I fixed it with my custom setting, it still remains there. It still has a little bit of it where it's kind of distracting. But it's not as bad, nowhere near as bad as MotorStorm Apocalypse. One thing I find very funny is that MotorStorm 3D Rift is an amazing game. It's MotorStorm 2, but like a mini version of MotorStorm 2. They took like 15 or 12 tracks from MotorStorm 2 and put it into like one little mini game called MotorStorm 3D Rift. And this is way before MotorStorm Apocalypse came out. MotorStorm 3D Rift is by far my favorite 3D game ever so far. It is freaking utterly amazing. It's ridiculous. You can call 3D a gimmick all you want, but I guarantee you, if you ever played MotorStorm 3D Rift, and you see the mud flying at you, you see just the debris, and you see a car crash in front of you, and then the tires fly over your car and right into your face. Like, it's just ridiculously amazing. You look into the screen and it feels like you're looking out of a window into like a vista of mountains and dirt and stuff, and you can literally see the fog and sparks like right there flying past your face. You can call it a gimmick all you want, but it is amazing. No ghosting at all, no eye strain, nothing. So I don't see how they got MotorStorm Apocalypse wrong. So the MotorStorm series as a whole is my second most favorite racing game series of all time. Even though there's only 3 games within this franchise, unless you count the PSP MotorStorm Arctic, I forgot what it's called, MotorStorm Arctic something that takes place in the snow, then that's 4 games. And maybe E3 this year they'll announce MotorStorm for the PS Vita, and that will be, oh my god, I don't know what I'll say. Like, that'll be amazing.